Hey there, Kenneth French of Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. We're very, very happy you stopped by. Either you're going to watch this or listen to this because you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably an entrepreneur who's either just starting out or you've been around for quite a while and you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably a real estate investor, maybe even a real estate agent, maybe a professional or of some sort, professional advisor of some sort. And well, you are stopping by because you need some valuable advice from one of the top industry leaders there is. Anyway, thank you very much. Once again, Kenneth French, Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. Really glad that you stopped by. We're going to hear a little bit about what it's like to be an entrepreneur and really also what it's like to sell your business and hopefully get really rich, right? The exit is where you really make your money if you really think about it in the whole scheme of things. My name is Kenneth French. I'm with vastsolutionsgroup.com. We're here with Patrick Fuchs, who is an entrepreneur, was an entrepreneur, don't know what you want to call him now because he loves just chilling out now, and he sold his business. So, Patrick, tell us about yourself there, buddy.
Well, thanks, Kenner, for having me on. I really appreciate it. I was in the internet business, ISP service, for about 26 years, and finally was able about 2 years ago to have an opportunity to sell that business. And ended up learning a lot from the experience, and it was, somewhat bittersweet. You work very hard for so many years, and then you end up with an opportunity to exit, as you mentioned, and that has been a process that I've still been learning, these last 2 years as to what you do with yourself after that exit occurs.
You mean to curb the boredom? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you drive so hard and you are so immersed in it for so many years. You are, it's part of you, everything about you. And then finally, there's a day that someone shows up at your door and they, they're interested in what you've done. They're interested in the value that you've provided over all those years.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, now it's their vision and it's what they want to do. Mm-hmm. And you now have to find your own way after that long, arduous, journey that you've already made.
Yeah. It must be a total different world now you're living in. So, well, take me back. By the way, let's hang out for about 25 minutes talking about really, again, as I mentioned, entrepreneurialism, selling your business. So what made you become an entrepreneur, first of all?
You realize that you either can be an employee or not. And even at an early age, I was in high school and lasted about 2 weeks at a Dairy Queen and determined that I didn't do well with people telling me what to do, if they weren't really, really bright. Mm-hmm. And so, you ended up doing the more simple things, like you would work on, being a computer consultant, help people with their networks, with their servers, with their software. Mm-hmm. And while that was interesting and rewarding, it's not a good force multiplier because all of your time, you're a knowledge person, and so you are able to charge per hour. Mm-hmm. You need to have a force multiplier, which is you need to have a service or a product that you can sell, and have more and more employees be able to amplify that and to be able to build something. So that the service part, I came to appreciate more. I had a friend in McMinnville who owned a garbage business. Mm-hmm. And was very happy about the fact that you would just build the company and people needed the service every month versus you making a widget and you had to keep chasing sales every month. And so if mm-hmm. you had a good number of folks that needed your service, you'd be able to continue to grow that. And it was a much preferred business model than having to sell a widget. So that was internet service provider. So 29 years ago, I was very heavily involved in high tech, and there was a service called CompuServe, but it ended up costing $200 a month. And my wife was like, why on earth are you spending $200 a month? Can't you get internet here to the house and have other people pay for it? And I said, honey, that is a fantastic idea. And we began by setting up card tables in the back bedroom and putting modems on it, connected to a Windows NT 3.1 server.
No way.
With a 56K line that was connected to the phone company. that got very very little internet, but it allowed people to access the internet in dial-up. Those 25 years back seems almost quaint compared to what you can do today with fiber and cable modems. However, but a lot of those, in a lot of that deal, your business was just fledgling, and so you had to work a normal job. And so I was a contractor for
Mm-hmm.
Yamhill County and got to do their servers, their networks, their desktop support. And as you would see, as your business that you love so much grew, you were able to then not have to do as much work on your normal job. So you would work 9 to 5, and then in the evenings I would go out and set up the internet for people on dial-up at their homes. And
Mm-hmm.
so as you continue to grow over the years, you're able to realize more benefits from your business. And eventually we had 50 employees, maybe about 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when, you got the knock at the door, you got the email, you got the call. It's like, we like what you're doing. And, we have a vision and we want to expand our business. And what is it going to take to be able to, have that melding of your business with ours?
Kind of emotional, isn't it? All of a sudden, here's my baby. It really is emotional, huh?
It was very surreal.
Yeah.
It looks like it's something from the movies.
Mm-hmm.
It cannot be happening to me.
Yeah.
But then when they start talking numbers and they start talking letters of intent, then it becomes very real. And then you are thankful for all the hard work you've put in to
Mm-hmm.
maximize the value of your business. And also, and that's where it really begins to come to, where you come in, and your talents and your insight and the things that you can do became much more relevant. And I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking about this earlier as we had discussed this a little bit offline. And it was, to whomever is looking at this possibility, uh, as soon as you even start talking to someone about exiting, you really need to get,
Yeah.
the best sort of resources available to you as quickly as possible. As you and I have had discussions in the
Mm-hmm.
past, uh, and this was well after the exit had occurred for me, you had brought up certain ideas that were absolutely fantastic and were, you believe. Then I really wish I would have talked to Kenner earlier, and that's just being very blunt.
That makes me feel
Uh,
good. Yeah, a lot of people
yeah,
don't realize they should get prepared well before they actually exit, before the date. You know.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so one of the main things that I would say for someone who's looking to exit is, before you sign the letter of intent, you better have what you are going to do lined up. For example, I believe the accountant or other accountants were actually, sorry, tax attorneys were like, you really need to choose if you're going to do a trust
Mm-hmm.
before you sign the letter of intent,
Totally. Yep.
which I did not do.
Yeah.
And so I think that left a lot of money on the table,
I think
unfortunately.
sometimes people are so excited. Someone's come to them, so they just want to get the deal done. They don't think about what's next. I mean, it is what it is, but obviously you're doing well now. So, actually, speaking of doing well, so what would you have done differently as an entrepreneur from whatever 20 something years ago to now? What would you really? That's the bottom line question. What would you have done differently as an entrepreneur?
Uh, I think the path that I chose was reasonable. I'm a little bit more concerned for the youth of today and
Hmm.
opportunities for in entrepreneurs today,
What do
because
you mean? Let's dive into that.
I think the regulatory environment is less friendly.
Yep.
Taxes are higher.
Mm-hmm.
You have more companies like the Magnificent Seven who are more dominant.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if you have an idea, 27 or 28 years ago, me being able to start an internet company, I've thought about this numerous times. trying to do that today, I think would be very, very difficult.
So would
And
you dissuade an entrepreneur? Is that what you're telling me?
I, I don't want to dissuade anyone from trying to do their best.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that high tech would be, the place. I
Mm.
think of the guys in the garage in California making Apple. I think of my wife spurring me on to make the internet company 26 years ago or 27 years ago, and now I think if I want to try any of those things now, um, the landscape is very, very I think very, very challenging now. And
Mm.
so to me it is you think about the things of professional sorts of things where I can make I have a thing that I can do. I'm a doctor, I'm an attorney, and I can charge a reasonable rate for that. And if I can live my life frugally, and I can, perhaps implement some of the, things that you've taught me, I might be able to do well. Uh, I just think it's very difficult to start a company today and,
Mm.
have it be successful. Now, some companies, and I'm involved in some of them, have very pedestrian sort of things that they do. For example, one of the companies that I'm involved with and have owned for 15 years with my partner, Sean, is pumping septic tanks and portable toilets. It is not
Mm.
glamorous,
Do
but
you think?
it is profitable, and it will be something that is always needed. And so, I believe more trades. If you want to be a plumber or an electrician or firefighter or a paramedic, I know firefighter paramedic is not necessarily a trade,
Mm-hmm.
but those I think could be things that are absolutely needed, and you can earn a very good living if you can discipline yourself to live frugally enough so you
Mm-hmm.
can save. Because a lot of people, if you look at the savings rate today, savings rate is very low and declining, partially due to the horrific cost of living increases due to inflation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
It is getting
so
tougher. Yeah.
yeah. Sorry.
No. So wait a minute. So let's go back actually. So you do have a business now. Let's say someone wanted to use the services of that business. Who do they contact? By the way, you could here's your commercial.
Well, no, we are, we're in a very rural part of McMinnville, Oregon, and we have more than enough business. So we've actually tried to not increase that business.
Okay.
My principal concern is you want, to help others be able to be successful, and that's what I want to accomplish, for the time that we get to have together. So, kind of in going back to, what would you have done differently?
Mm.
Is one of the main things. If someone's saying I'd like to buy your company, and you believe that you will realize a significant gain from the sale of that company, I would decide on the amount that I want to put in a trust to try to shield that from getting taxed unreasonably. And as some of the accountants, they gave me examples of what their clients had done, and so some did half and half, half in a
Yeah.
trust, half you let it, just deal with the long term cap gain. And so I guess there's a balance there, though. So if you do it in a trust in this jurisdiction, which would be the United States, I think you have some exposure to what could possibly happen in the U.S. in the future, which might not be very nice. And so I guess if I had to do it over, I would probably put a third in a trust
Mm.
and have a little bit of a nice tax result there, tax advantage, and then maybe the other 2/3 you take the hit of a long-term cap gain, and then look at getting that out of this jurisdiction that could be problematic in the future.
Yeah, we have obviously every situation is different. We have some people who, when they sell their business, luckily they've sold their business when they're living, let's say, in Puerto Rico with a lower tax rate, plus where it's sunny. But it's different for every single circumstance. But what I would say is the biggest thing you said and you've conveyed very well is just you got to plan. Or the earlier you better. The earlier you plan, the better off you are. It really is. That it really is the way to go.
Yeah, and I found that while the accountants and attorneys that I've dealt with locally, and I'm in a small town, they're competent and great. I think they need to be looking for resources like you have, because you've seen a lot of stuff. You've dealt with a lot of high net worth individuals,
Mm-hmm.
and the options that you have and have seen, I think, are invaluable to those folks who are who are looking to exit. And one of the things I thought you had mentioned is you had a way that you could defer or pay those federal taxes over time,
Yeah.
over a number of years.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even occur to me, and it would have been, well, that would have been nice to know before you ended up, signing what you needed to make the thing go forward. So to me, it's while it's exciting and wonderful, and will still turn out well for me, we'll seeking out those resources like you and your company early is really it allows you to look at all the options and decide what's best for you versus looking in the rear view mirror. And of course, we're all Monday morning quarterbacks, and hindsight is 2020, and it's a coulda, woulda, shoulda, and what would I have done differently. But still, the thing that I have appreciated about working with you over the years is, even if you didn't nail the landing on the exit, there are a whole bunch of other options that you have to try to make sure that you can maximize tax efficiency, and being able to, like through a defined benefit plan, as an example, be able to have something that, there are a number of structures and a number of strategies and techniques that have shown and are available working with your organization that can really help folks out that have put in the time, have realized, that success, and can then maximize the value for themselves and their families into the future.
Well, you make me feel good. I love hearing that. I really do.
Absolutely.
That makes me feel really good. So now let's switch gears to retirement. I think we have some clients who are, like 30 and 40 years old. I was just talking to one yesterday, and he's just right now hating retirement because he's like, I'm too young. He's 43 years old. He's hating retirement. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on retirement right now? My definition, by the way, of retirement is it's a long, long vacation, maybe the longest vacation one will ever have. So help me to explain a little bit about like what you're going through in retirement.
I agree with the person you talked with about that, and it's been 2 years for me now, and I would say very difficult. And so, I end up going to that company that I had owned just to hang out with my buddy. We stare at each other across our desks in the office, and I really struggle with what what are you going to do? How, for me at least, is how can you serve others? How can you get fulfillment? And I believe that's a very difficult thing to answer. So, for example, I have no interest in going back into the high tech realm and the stress that had with it. My singing partner that I work with, for these gigs that we do for playing jazz that we discussed. She works at a animal hospital in vet hospital in Portland, and there's a gentleman who is quite a bit older than I am, fantastic surgeon, and still doing it, in the 70s or 75 or even greater. And I've talked to her about it in the past, about what a blessing that is, that you get to go somewhere that far in, to your golden years, and you still get to do something to help others and to help animals and to make a difference, because the money, frankly, you could buy all the Ferraris you want, and that doesn't give you peace and it doesn't give you fulfillment. It's how are you serving others? And so to me, some of the things that I enjoy is you get to spend time with friends and family. You get to serve, for example, for me at the church, to be able to, be in the worship team and lead that. And frankly, being able to do these gigs in different pubs around the Pacific Northwest. And that gives you fulfillment. And so
yeah, that's what you really enjoy. You can tell. You light up when you talk about that.
Absolutely. And people are happy. And so the challenge for me, and I'd estimate for this other individual you talked about, was what on earth can you do that allow, and I believe serving others really does bring you joy and happiness. And
Hmm.
for some others, it might be different. Maybe they like, the toys and the cruises and the stuff you get to buy. But bottom line, it's like if I get to serve others and have that fulfillment, that's what's going to bring me joy. So to me, that, yeah, even after 2 years, that's something I'm still searching for and trying to figure out. And I try to find others who have found that. And it's like, would I enjoy being able to do that? And the balance is, am I willing to get the degree or to get the training or to go to school or to do whatever I need to be able to serve those folks that's
Hmm.
going to make me happy. And so I find that very interesting. You had that person that asked you about, I'm 43 and I'm 10 years their senior. Uh, and I absolutely understand where they're coming from. And I am, uh, dealing with that very same existential
Mm.
thought process. And where is it going to happen? And so you uh, are excited when someone engages you and wants to figure out what can be done, what can we do, even being able to hopefully help others with this discussion we've had today.
Yeah, I know for me, I was semi-retired for, for from 40 to 50 years of age. And I was, that for me, that was the right thing to do because I raised my kids, got involved with youth sports. And now I'm kicking it. I'm loving it. I'm having fun working in tech. I love all the tech that I'm doing right now. But I could see it being a challenge for some people because people are geared towards working hard, and all of a sudden, whoa, wait a minute, I'm on vacation every single day. I don't have
Yeah,
anything to live for. But I think you're right. No, I know you're right. If you could give back and that's what you enjoy, that's the right path.
yeah, and you somewhat feel like a caged tiger because you've uh, operated at such a high level for so many years, and you don't know any better. And
Hmm.
so you want to do great things, and that is not taken out of you when you exit and that check is cashed in the bank.
Hmm.
And so to me, it is. So I think it's a great, I think you have a really neat opportunity in helping guys like me be able to figure out how can you optimize your life and get your financial house in order for your family and the kids. And I think that would be super fun to do because I assume you get to engage with very high performers.
Oh,
They don't come to you without having probably accomplished something great in their lives, and that would be neat to hang out with those folks.
oh, it's so fun
Yeah,
hearing, like one guy told me, I didn't even know this. He was bankrupt right before we met, and then he started doing really well in his business, and he just sold his business. He's worth $600 million. It's like,
that's
whoa, that
fantastic.
next level,
Absolutely
by the way. And
fantastic.
it didn't
Absolutely.
take him that long. It was crazy. That's
Yeah.
a cool story. The people I work with are the best. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm lucky in that I don't have to work with people I don't want to work with,
Yeah.
and people like you. It's been a huge joy. I'm very lucky.
And I think that it's funny you mention that because as you look at how can I serve others and what I might want to do with my life, and you go into medical, for example, you might not want to work with people
Oh, I
you
know.
have to help, and so you have to balance what am I willing to do. You exit,
Hmm.
and then what you're doing now, you can choose what you wish to do, and you do not have to put up with BS. And you want to serve others, and it's like, well, that might occur in your life, and you have to gird yourself for that possibility or choose something different.
It's the only way to go, as I see it. You're
Yes.
right. So why don't we get close to landing this plane? So what's one thing, and you would, tell an entrepreneur that we didn't go over, or one thing that maybe someone who's about to exit or is going to exit or has exited and is vacation not liking it, etc. What's one thing that we didn't cover that you think would help the listeners and viewers?
Mm, boy, I think getting the proper resources and trusting those resources is going to be a big part of the success of your exit. And I would include you in that constellation or that universe of resources.
I love it. I love it. Thank you very much for saying that. And you're
Absolutely.
unpaid. You're just saying that just
No, it's just what I've experienced, and I you know that I'm direct and blunt,
That is.
Kenner, and so it's it's neat to be able to be around these folks that have accomplished so much, and then you have done an excellent job in being able to bring options and bring solutions for them, and I've just appreciated the time that you and I have hung out. So
That's awesome.
awesome.
Awesome. Totally appreciate it. Hey, for all our viewers and listeners out there, really appreciate you stopping by. This has been fun for me. Get to know Patrick a little bit more, and hopefully this is going to help you in your journey as an entrepreneur. If you need anything, please stop by the website, vastsolutionsgroup.com. Once again, Ken French, I'm out. Thanks again, Patrick.
Thanks, Kenner. Have a good night.
Nice job, man.